My name's Ron Gilbert, and I did pretty much everything on this game. I did all the art, the music, programming, and writing.
So typical.
I'm Dave Grossman. I helped Ron do everything on this game. I helped to design puzzles and wrote lots of dialogue and programmed things and made little people walk around and created scenes.
My name's Tim Schaefer. I helped get coffee for these guys, and then at night I redid everything that they did. And I was an assistant designer programmer. That's the official title.
That was our official title.
Yeah. So we helped with puzzles and then wrote dialogue and then programmed. Wow. I used to program.
I still program too.
Ooh, what's happening?
What was that sound?
Oh my god, the game's starting. What an awesome game.
Scab Island.
Oh, we're going into Wood Tick. Don't go on that bridge. There's like, oh, don't. Oh.
I just like this bit because the player always feels like they've done something wrong.
Right, without knowing it.
Yeah. People would actually go back and try and play this again to try and not get caught by him on the bridge.
Yeah, Largo LeGrand is named after where I grew up.
Largo?
Oh, yeah.
Key Largo?
No, I grew up in LeGrand, Oregon. So that's where I got his name.
Where'd the Largo come from?
I don't know.
That's what
Probably
we used to
just the
call
way
him
it
back then.
sounded.
They used to call him
That was his
Largo.
nickname. Hey, Largo.
Hey, Largo.
Largo from LeGrand.
Is that Bogart? Key Largo?
I always liked how he started out with a whole bunch of money. So you kind of thought he had a bunch of stuff, and then it all completely goes away at the very beginning of the game.
That fit into the running theme of mean, cruel things that we enjoyed. So give the player a bunch of money and then take it away
And then
from
just
them.
take it all away from them immediately. Yeah.
I just want to say how good looking Guybrush's hair is looking in this game.
He has a new stylist in this game.
Look how big his eyes are in the... Okay, sorry.
Wasn't the money thing inspired by just how much time you spent in the first game having to get money? Like, it was a really big thing. Like, oh, you didn't have any money and you had to go to the circus and get a job and all that. It's
Right.
like,
And
this
that-
time,
that-
let's start them off
right.
with tons of money.
More money than they know what to do, and then we're going to take it all away.
Okay, here is the big premiere of iMuse. Right?
Yes.
This is the biggest, and I think the biggest ever, most complicated piece of iMuse music that was ever made.
We had two full-time programmers who were doing nothing but programming the iMuse transitions.
Because it's a main theme outside, and then every time you go into one of these inner locations or inside the house, it would enable or disable instruments, and it would
Right.
change the theme a little bit.
Right. Yeah, no, iMuse was absolutely amazing.
But they put a lot of work into it, and they decided never to do it again. Because they're like, no one noticed. I noticed.
I did.
I love Wally the cartographer.
Wally has just been taken so much abuse over the course of the series. It just seems to be...
Well, we
asking
cut
for
that
it.
stuff at the end of the game with him on the raft and all that.
Oh, that's right. We cut the whole rap thing.
I get a lot of email from people wanting to know what we were going to do with Wally and that whole.
Do we ever show what happens to him now? Because when you blow up out of the whatchamacallit, you blow up out of the, and then you used to land on a raft.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we'll find out.
I don't remember.
That's a good voice for him. Whoa. Could you guys hear my
See,
internal
now we
organs?
steal his monocle.
Yeah, we steal his money. It's super
blind.
sad. Yeah, we totally make him unable to do his job, but because we needed a lens for our
Exactly.
little...
Yep. Gotta ruin everyone in this town before we're done.
I'd go for help, but I'm afraid to walk around like this.
Largo reminds me of someone from old Bowery Boys movies. You know what I mean? Bowery Boys? Or Squiggy from Laverne and Shirley.
Oh.
Oh my god. I just realized that's where I stole the intro to Full Throttle. I pulled... That's embarrassing. The way he pulls his nose down to the bar, it's totally... Oh, how embarrassing. I totally stole that whole Quahog thing from Monkey 2.
Just also a lot of foreshadowing with the spitting and the spitting contest and all of
there's
those things in there.
Where's the spittoon? Oh no, there's spit over there on the left-hand side.
Oh, yeah.
Did we do a close-up of the spit flying, or did we cut that?
No, that was there.
Was that in there?
You
I
were
was
paying
watching
attention.
you guys. I was mesmerized.
One of the greatest things about this game was the shirt that we did with the three-dimensional puffy spit dripping down.
And the monkeys down the sleeves.
It's a great day for spitting.
That was the Monkey 1 shirt.
Was that the Monkey
Monkey 1 was a
the
tasteful
sleeves.
shirt that you could wear outside. The Monkey 2 shirt,
No,
you just folded up new and put away in a box because it was so gross. It had
Well, there were
gobs of spit all over it.
There were the puffy
I wore it
monkeys
everywhere.
down the sleeve. Was that Monkey 1?
That
That was
one,
Monkey
yeah.
1, yeah, the long sleeve one.
Monkey 2 we did, and we didn't get approval for it, and people in management were mad afterwards. They were like, that is the grossest shirt ever. I can't believe you made that.
This is creepy feeling.
I'd swear on my grandfather's grave, something weird is going on.
Oh, God, I forgot about the graveyard.
This is like the greatest scene ever.
Why are the bats making different sounds here?
Okay, so why
This is another
the
thing we
scene?
fought over. I thought the pants thing, I didn't think that was funny.
I think the
And you
pants
thought it was
thing
the
is
best thing in the whole
hilarious.
game.
I did, and I still do. I actually use this as an example sometimes when
Of what
I'm
you
talking
used to think
people.
was funny and now realize is not funny.
No, it's like the pinnacle of humor. It's an untoppable moment.
But what, did he pull his belt off in order to dig? What? Why does why does that happen, Ron? Now tell us.
It's because the
Because-
game requires different levels. If you got your sophisticated,
But why do his pants fall down? Did he did he use his belt to dig? See, that would
See,
make
the
sense.
problem is you're trying to justify it too much. It's just funny. Just roll with it.
It's fantasy about pants falling down.
It's just a stupid computer game, Tim.
Oh, see, I think that could have been a really deep moment. His pants fell for a reason. For example,
Gravity.
He was digging up. You win. It's hilarious. But I never liked anything that was great. And like I was against the insult sword fighting. Remember, I was like, people are going to be really mad. Well, for the beginning of the meeting, you were like, how about? I think it's too action oriented if we actually put sword fighting in there because it was going to be like karateka, and it's like it's too action oriented. I think people would enjoy it more if it was just insults, which I realize now is a great idea. At a time, I thought we're going to get angry letters from people who want to use their sword. That but I saw the light eventually.
Well, that came from all that time we spent watching those movies in the media room at the main house. Was the way the pirates, verbally jousted with each other. It's kind
Yeah, I
of where
remember
that
you saying
came
that
from.
it was just what they said that was important, and that the sword fighting always seemed like kind of a background activity.
Captain
Quite
Dread.
different. We eventually did.
I never liked his name.
Captain Dread.
No?
That's a
Yeah,
great name.
I never liked his name.
Captain Dread. It's
a great
both
name.
scary pirate name.
You're wrong.
And dreadlocks. Maybe you don't realize this, but those big chunks of hair are called dreadlocks.
I think it was because the pun was too obvious.
Oh, there's something too obvious, not subtle enough in Monkey Island for you, pants dropper.
Right. Well, it's because you're missing all the symbolism of the pants dropping.
The thing I didn't like
And-
was that you never see his face except for the very beginning. His head is turned the whole time. I'm like, this is so disconcerting to see just the back of his head. He could just
would
have
do
his
that?
head. He
It's
could have had his head
bizarre.
just tilted a little bit like that. Oh, that voodoo guy. I forgot about him. Oh, jeez. Oh, LeChuck's asymmetrical walking was the hardest thing to get right of any walk cycle, I think, still to this day that was ever done.
Because he couldn't be flipped.
He could have been flipped, and he moved an uneven number of pixels every frame.
I like how much he spits when he talks too. More foreshadowing, I guess.
I forgot that voodoo character. What does he do, that voodoo guy?
No one gets the upper
Don't
hand.
know. I can't remember.
I actually don't remember.
Dude, I
him.
don't remember that guy at all. Does he?
Want Guy Brush
Let's cut him in the special edition because he's
alive.
he's got a good voice though.
In this
I like that.
Do not fail.
I'm off to find
There's an exciting sailing scene. Oh, this was for the ship combat I worked so hard on.
No, that was on Monkey 1. That was on Monkey
It
1.
was not in Monkey
That's
1.
right, both
It was
of
on
us
the cutting
worked on
room
it for a
floor of
while,
Monkey
and
1
then- yeah.
because it was too good for that game. Okay, Jolly Rasta, that's not a good name. Dread is a good name, but Jolly
Dread's a
Rasta.
bad
It
name.
sounds like pasta.
It's a horrible name.
It should have been the Jolly Pasta.
Yeah, it should have been the Jolly Pasta. Should have been the elbow macaroni.
The thing I remember about Governor Fat was just that he was way bigger on screen than characters that we generally did.
It was like
He
a
didn't have
small
to move very
planet.
much. He was like, yeah, just this enormous.
You could have
enormous
lived
guy.
inside him.
He only animated his like mouth or something.
Yeah, just kind of a little jiggly thing.
One thing that I always liked about
Our
Monkey
ship is really
Island
slow.
1 and 2 was how you're kind of playing this game, and almost when you think the game's over, it's like then kind of the real game starts. It's like you're spending all this time on Scab Island or on Melee Island, and you think you're kind of completing the main objective of the game, and then the whole game kind of opens up after that. I always like that.
And all the
It makes it feel
RTS elements
huge.
come into it at that point.
Yeah, and the first-person shooter stuff. I don't know if people discovered that.
I always love
Yeah,
this poster.
secret
I love that. I always
yeah.
like to do that. I always want to do that in other games. Like every game should have a poster that lists everything that you've done,
Oh, all the bad things.
all the bad things you've done, but
Stealing
like
a monocle.
in the voice of the
Yeah.
character, in the voice of the. See, we're obviously feeling bad about Guybrush's crimes because we listed them here on this poster.
We did that in Tales in the 4th episode, which is the trial and execution of Guybrush
I've heard
Threepwood.
that's the
You get
best one.
maybe the best one. But the funnest bit is you get put on trial and it lists out all the stuff that you did in the first episode. all the things you're under arrest for then.
It's always really hard, to design these puzzle things where he's confined in one room. Because it's like everything on him, and you have to figure out how to do it, and all of
And
the
if they're too hard,
solutions
there's
are-
just you're stuck in a
you're
tiny,
stuck.
tiny
Yeah,
room.
but if it's too easy, it's a gimme puzzle, and it's just not interesting.
There is something comforting about the fact that you can't go anywhere, so you know all your assets are right there. There is some way out. Like it's never
Unless
like,
you're playing a
oh,
Sierra
I didn't
game.
pick something
Then
up
you could
3
be in
rooms
there
away.
without
I've
the
got to go
thing
get
you
there.
Right, without the
Sierra.
pencil. This is also the big Pirates of the Caribbean ride ripoff moment, too.
Yeah, we can't really complain about the movie ripping off
Stealing
the
this,
game when
because
the game takes.
They were just
plenty
getting
from
us
the-
back for this.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's all it really was.
And the dog's named Walt.
Is he?
Why was the
Steve
dog's
Purcell's
name
dog?
Walt?
Steve
Is that not
Purcell's
for
dog.
Walt Disney? No?
Steve
I don't
Purcell's
think so.
dog was called Walt. I think that was.
Oh, well, that was probably named after Walt Disney.
That is possible. Walt was, I remember, kind of a mean little dog. He bit me once.
Walt's dead. Don't make fun of Walt.
Well,
I like that the
so
dog
he
was named
played
after
30
Walt
now.
Disney. Let's just go with that.
Yeah, that's a sweeter story.
Yeah, let's go with that.
What's this room? I remember this room.
Give me the next.
Did they add this for the special edition?
Is this the game where we put in the if this is 3, then what's
Yeah.
this?
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
that's.
That was a mean puzzle.
I apologize for that. That came from my family.
Yeah,
That was a trick. That was a thing. That
game.
game my brother played with me. This is 2. Then what's this? If this is 4, what's this?
I remember we went round and around trying to find some clever thing to do that. I think that door existed for quite a while without any real puzzle there.
It was like
until
one of
we-
those little insert puzzle here
Yeah.
signs.
Right.
It's nice that we could actually do that on these games. Like that's hard to do now, to design a game and say, well, okay, here's a puzzle. We're just going to put something in later, and we'll think of it, 2 months from now while we're building. In the middle
think-
of building the game, we'll write some different dialogue for it.
Yeah, dialogue recording, voice recording really, I think, killed all that spontaneity that we had in Monkey 1 and Monkey 2.
You just
where-
have to be spontaneous earlier. You don't have as much time to be
Right.
spontaneous.
It's on the calendar. Spontaneity ends here.
Right.
Okay, the library. Is it true, Dave? Did you write all the books that are in here? All of the book titles?
I didn't. I did do a lot of them, but I remember I think we put out a call
To all of
to
LucasArts.
everybody, like, hey, we need book titles, and I think Captain Trips actually wrote a large number of them.
No, really. Some of them I didn't realize were references to other things in the game until I read them on like Monkey Island fan pages. Like there are all these little hidden clues.
Yeah, there's all kinds of references to stuff in there. References are fun.
Yeah. What was the one? Something about the ending. Something about LeChuck and the fight that he had with Guybrush.
There's a reference to that in the library.
What does LeChuck say? It was a root of their fight as children. Like some embarrassing that I don't know.
Do you
I
remember?
don't
In the last
remember.
scene when they're kids and like we had this fight over something really trivial and there's a reference to it in the library.
When you think they're kids, you mean?
Oh, when the robots are
Right.
programmed to think that they're kids,
Right.
is what I meant,
Yeah.
and they don't realize that they're dead,
Right.
and then the one kid, little boy can see dead people.
Yeah. That part.
Okay, look at those references.
Okay, let's actually let's go
There's
through,
Sherlock Holmes.
Let's go through all the library cards.
Yeah, can we look at
Let's go
everyone?
through them all.
Aren't
And
there like 100 or?
What's 1060 West
Thousand.
Addison? Is that
That is the address of Wrigley Field.
Wrigley
It's from
Field.
the Blues Brothers.
Oh my god. Yeah.
It is, in fact, an explicit reference to a joke in which someone gives a false address. So, perfectly appropriate.
Do you remember how we designed the puzzles for this on the whiteboard? and we purposely did the thing that we later thought made it too hard, but we put every island on the top and every puzzle chain on the side, and then we made sure that there was an object on every island that you needed for every puzzle chain, so that if you wanted to solve any like long puzzle chain, you had to visit every single island. So that's why, like, when you actually play this game, you have to go from island to island to island over and over and over again.
I remember discussions talking about, was that too annoying for players to constantly going from island to island to island to solve things?
And you said, I don't care. I said 40 hours. It's going to be 40 hours.
They've already bought it. What do I care?
I think the phrase you used was player be damned, right? That was more the catchphrase.
That's kind of my design philosophy, really.